Hello and welcome to government class. In today's government class, we'll be looking at the similarities and differences of the various pre-colonial political systems of administrations in Nigeria. In the previous classes, we talked about the pre-colonial systems of administration in Hausa land, Yoruba land, and in Igbo land. To look at these classes, please look through our previous videos. The first thing we'll be looking at in this topic is the existence of a central government. The Fulani Emirate had a highly centralized system of government. The Emir was the executive head of the empire of government and was assisted by ministers such as the Madwaki, the Waziri, the Galadima, the Sakin Father, the Maji, the Dogari, and the rest of the officials we looked at in our previous class. In Yoruba land, the government was partly centralized and partly decentralized. In the Yoruba kingdom, the government was partly centralized and partly decentralized. The Oba was the paramount head of the kingdom, and the senior chiefs, such as the Balogun, assisted him in the administration of the kingdom. In the Yoruba pre-colonial system of administration, the government power was partly centralized and partly decentralized, unlike what we had in the Hausa pre-colonial system of administration, whereby power was highly centralized. There was a highly centralized system of government. The Oba was the paramount head of the kingdom, and senior chiefs such as the Balogun assisted him in the administration of the kingdom. Also, there was a system of the Oyomesi too assisted him in the administration of his kingdom. The Igbo society on the other hand was a segmentary or a stateless society. The Igbo society was a segmentary or a stateless society. Like other stateless African societies, such as the Nuer of Sudan, the Fang of Gabon, the Kiyuki of Kenya, and the Bemba of the Central African Republic, the Igbo had no central political institution. They had no central political institution. The second thing we'll be looking at under this subtopic is the performance of functions of government. The performance of functions of government. In the Fulani Emirates, or what we know as the Hausa pre-colonial political system of administration, the Emir and his major officials, that is the Waziri, the Madwaki, the Galadima, the Sakin Father, Sakin Power, the Maji, and the rest, they are the ones that carried out the legislative, the executive, and the judicial functions, while the Alkali judges, they interpreted the laws and they punished offenders. The three functions of government in the Yoruba pre-colonial political system of administration, the three functions of government were performed by the Oba and his senior chiefs in the Yoruba kingdom, but the guidance and direction of the secret societies and cults, such as the Ogboni and Oro, were sought from time to time. So what we had in the Yoruba pre-colonial political system of administration was that the three functions of government, that is the legislative function, the executive function, and the judicial function of government, were performed by the Oba, the Alaafin or Oba, his senior chiefs, or what we call the Oyomesi in the old Alaafin kingdom. But they needed the guidance and directions of secret societies such as Ogboni cults and Oro from time to time, and they sought their guidance from time to time. In the Igbo pre-colonial political system, on the other hand, the roles of the executive, the judicial, and the legislative roles were assigned to specific political institutions, but an array of institutions, including the family head, council of elders, the village assembly, the diviner, the priest of the village god, and the other title holders, the age grades, carried out legislative, executive, and judicial functions. So what we had in the Igbo pre-colonial political system was different. All the roles of the executive, the judicial, and the legislative functions they were assigned to specific political bodies, and they had an array of institutions in the pre-colonial political times. They had the family heads, they had the council of elders, the village assembly, the diviner, the priest of the village god, the other title holders, and the age grades. And there were certain institutions that would carry out legislative function. Then we had institutions that would carry out the executive functions, and we had institutions that carried out the judicial functions. So, for example, In the Igbo pre-colonial times, it was the age grades that carried out judicial functions. It was the age grade that carried out judicial functions, whereas legislative functions were carried out by every institution. The age grade could bring about a law, could bring a law that everybody, including the Council of Elders, would follow. So every institution were involved in lawmaking in the Igbo pre-colonial times, but the age grade were involved in the interpretation of the laws. They were involved in interpreting the laws and punishing offenders. But in the Igbo pre-colonial times, there was always a problem of coordination too. The next thing we'll be looking at under this subtopic is the type of government. We look at the similarities and the differences in the type of government used in these three pre-colonial political systems of administration. The Igbo political system operated a democratic and republican system of government. The Fulani Emirate was essentially a theocratic state, and the Yorubas had a monarchical system of government. So the Igbos operated a democratic and republican state of government. They didn't have any central ruler. They were free. They were not reporting to any higher body or anything like that. So it was a democratic system of government that was in place. The Fulanis had a theocratic. For the Fulanis was a theocratic state because most of their laws were based on the Islamic or Sharia laws, and it was only situations where the Islamic or Sharia law did not have a say that the emir could make a law on that issue. So the Fulani Emirates can be said to be essentially a theocratic state.